This time, it's all about rule. Are you ready to face the fear? At last, the mystery was solved. The cause was due to us seeing something, and I finally understood what that was. It all began on September 10, 1998, when we went to test our courage at a haunted ruin located in H City, O Prefecture. The silent agreement to act as if we hadn't seen anything was a mistake. At that time, A, B, and I frequently visited haunted places as part of our drives. The place in question was well known, visited nightly by many people. It had become more of a gathering spot than a haunted site. The building was 2 stories tall, rumored to have been abandoned after a robbery murder. The first floor had 3 rooms, a dining room, a living room, and a room with a Buddhist altar. And aside from some holes in the floor, the rooms were generally well maintained. On the second floor, there were 4 rooms, likely 2 children's rooms, a bedroom, and a study. The incident occurred in one of the children's rooms on the second floor, where a pipe bed and countless photos scattered on the floor made it the most feared room. And the main site for the courage test. On that day, September 10, 1998, 3 other groups had arrived before us, chatting excitedly at the narrow path that served as the entrance to the ruin. As we reached the entrance, 4 people, probably from one group, approached us, showing us 3 Polaroid photos, asking what we thought about them. All 3 photos were of the problematic room, 2 taken from inside the room and 1 from outside the window. The indoor photos showed a cloudy orange light on the bed in one and a white orb-like fog at the same spot in the other, taken later. The last photo, taken from outside, captured a white fog mixed with orange light looking out the window, which was without glass, seemingly watching the photographer. This group was the first to arrive, and like us, the other 2 groups had been shown the photos but hadn't yet entered the ruin. Driven more by the hope of seeing a ghost than verifying the truth, we all decided to go inside together. Upon arrival, maybe because of the photos, the ruin felt eerily unwelcoming. While deciding who would enter and who would wait outside among the 11 of us, 3 girls, about elementary school age, suddenly ran out from inside, laughing. We almost screamed in unison from the shock, but upon closer inspection, they were living girls, who came to warn us, saying it wasn't okay to laugh here. "If you find a red ball, let us know," they said, an eerie and cryptic message. When one of us asked what they were doing, one girl, speaking rapidly and unclearly, more shouted than said, "It's not about forgiveness, it's a rule, ah ha ha ha." The girl's behavior was odd, and considering it was 1 a.m., we thought they might have been involved in some incident and were about to call the police. When a car arrived, a middle-aged couple and an elderly woman got out, came over to us, and took the children to the car. The elderly woman then advised us to leave quickly, explaining, "This place is no good. These kids are my grandchildren, sadly not in their right minds. They sneak out to come here night after night, even though it's 3 kilometers from home. You shouldn't be here for a courage test. I don't believe in ghosts, but seeing them like this is heartbreaking. They don't even look like themselves anymore. Please, go home." Looking back, I regret not heeding her advice, but at that moment, her warning only heightened our curiosity, and we succumbed to it. A mistake. After the elderly woman and her family left, someone from the group who took the photos realized those kids had been hiding somewhere in the ruin even before we arrived. Possible hiding spots included the spaces under the floor with holes, next to the Buddhist altar, or under the bed in the problematic room. Regardless, suppressing the eerie and frightening atmosphere, 6 of us entered the building, and 5 stayed outside, keeping the cars running just in case. I was part of the group going in. The stairway required us to line up single file, and I was third in line, imagining that if a ghost were to appear, we might feel a creeping premonition. However, the moment the 2 people in front, a man and a woman, entered the room, the man's scream shattered my thoughts. We rushed into the room to find out what happened. There, the woman was lying on her back with vacant eyes, writhing and muttering something. Her whispers suddenly turned into a loud, high-pitched laugh, screaming, "It's the rule, ah ha ha. Breaking the rule is not allowed. I'll come back again." Panicked, we carried the woman out of the room and scrambled into the cars. In the chaos, people ended up in vehicles other than their own. I ended up in the same car as the woman. She was semi-conscious, drenched in sweat. We followed the lead car to a diner. The woman regained her senses after vomiting in the restroom with another friend. We were all in shock, but the woman noticed something in her pocket. It was a photo from the room, which chilled everyone when seen. Dated November 3, 1979, it featured a girl who eerily resembled one of the three girls who had shouted nonsensically at us when we left the ruin. The woman began to cry, saying that when she entered the room, she saw the girl from the photo sitting on the bed. Making eye contact, the girl grinned, leapt towards her, causing her to struggle for breath until she blacked out. And then found herself in the car. After calming the woman down, the photo was entrusted to the group that arrived first, and we waited until morning to disperse. This concludes the story of our courage test, but the horror that followed as an aftermath continues. Reflecting on the past, I share this story with you. Now that I understand the rule, we plan to go together as soon as it's morning. Reference mark. No further messages from the person believed to be the original poster. How did everyone find it? Now that you've heard this story, if you don't follow the rules, you might be taken away too. Please be mindful of the rules. Ahahaha. But seriously, what exactly are these rules? If you figure it out, do let me know. Though, if you do find out, we might not be able to meet again. I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then.